This is VOA News. I'm Joe Ramsey. Israeli military aircraft and vehicles were seen across Israel on Monday as Israeli troops prepared for escalation after an unprecedented assault on its territory 10 days ago. Some 1,300 people were killed in the unexpected attack which shook the country. Authorities in Gaza said on Monday at least 2,808 people so far had been killed by retaliatory Israeli strikes, a quarter of them children, and 10,850 wounded. People in southern Gaza headed to the Rafah border on Monday in hope of a brief ceasefire to let foreign passport holders out and aid in on Monday. Instead, Israel's bombing was the heaviest in 9 days, according to Gaza residents, as it prepares to invade by land. Reuters correspondent Lucy Fielder reports.
Palestinians and foreign nationals flocked towards the Rafah crossing on Monday, seeking to flee across the Egyptian border. But as food, water and fuel run short in Gaza, hopes for a brief ceasefire in the south to let foreign passport holders leave and aid get in were dashed, as Israel intensified its bombardment ahead of an expected ground assault. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said there was no truce, hours after Egyptian security sources told Reuters an agreement had been reached on Rafah.
Reuters correspondent Lucy Fielder. Egypt said on Monday Israel was not cooperating with delivery of aid into Gaza and evacuations of foreign passport holders via the only entry it does not wholly control, leaving hundreds of tons of supplies stuck. Cairo says the Rafah crossing, a potentially vital opening, is not officially closed but was made inoperable due to Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza side. This is VOA News. There are growing fears in Europe that the conflict between Israel and Palestinian militants in Gaza will be felt beyond the Middle East. Henry Ridgwell reports.
The European Union has called an emergency heads of state conference to be held Tuesday. European Council President Charles Michel.
It has the potential to worsen tensions between communities and to feed extremism. Finally, there is a major risk of migration and movements of a large number of people to neighboring countries.
European nations gave Israel their full support in the days following the Hamas attacks. But critics say there has been mixed messaging from EU leaders as the Israeli assault on Gaza intensifies. Henry Ridgwell, VOA News, London.
2 Swedish nationals were shot dead and a third wounded in central Brussels on Monday night, and a man who identified himself as a member of Islamic State claimed responsibility in a video posted online. The suspected assailant fled the scene after the shooting as a football match between Belgium and Sweden was about to start, triggering a massive manhunt and prompting Belgium to raise its terror alert to the highest level. A Belgian federal prosecutor said there was no evidence the attacker, who was still on the loose, had any link to the recent renewed conflicts between Israel and Palestinian militants. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has a narrow gag order imposed on him by a federal judge overseeing his 2020 election subversion case. AP Washington correspondent Sagar Magani reports.
Judge Tanya Chutkin says there are no restrictions on statements criticizing the Justice Department generally or about Trump's belief that the case is politically motivated. But she says he cannot mount a smear campaign against prosecutors and court personnel. That's after special counsel Jack Smith's team accused Trump of using online attacks to try to taint the jury pool. Trump's lawyers fiercely fought against a gag order, saying it would censor a political candidate during a campaign. The judge says Trump does not have a right to say and do exactly as he pleases. Sagar Magani, Washington.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen on Monday said Washington would keep on delivering robust aid to Ukraine following European Union concerns over her country's future support for Kyiv. Her promise came after the U.S. Congress dropped new funding for Ukraine from a recent bill to avert a U.S. government shutdown, a move that triggered doubts over Washington's continued commitment. Download the VOA mobile app. I'm Joe Ramsey.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comments section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.